we discussed regression and prediction and came to know that with the help of one variable, the next variable, the second variable, can be predicted with the help of regression equation. Yesterday we took linear regression equation and we solved the problem based on linear regression equation that was 4 in number. Today we shall be solving the model problem based on multiple regression equation. So instead of linear regression equation, today we shall be solving the problem by using multiple regression equation. You can see the problem. This is the model problem. I think you all are looking the problem in a better manner. So note down some important data in order to solve the problem. Okay? As you can see in the problem that instead of 2, there are 3 variables, that is a scores on achievement test, a scores on intelligence test, and a scores calculated showing study hours per week. So there are 3 variables: achievement, intelligence, and study hours. Against all these 3 variables, the related data is given, that is M1, sigma 1, R12, the relationship between first and second variable, that is achievement and intelligence. And of course, in this problem, we have to predict achievement test with the help of intelligence and study hours. M2 is given, sigma 2 and R13, again M3 is given, sigma 3 is given, and R23 is given. So all the required informations have been given. Now what the problem says, that make out a multiple regression equation involving the dependent variable x1, that is achievement test, and independent variables x2 and x3, that is intelligence and study hours respectively. As we have come to know when we were solving linear regression equation problem with the help of linear regression equation, that the first work in solving these types of problem is to make an equation, that is regression equation. So the first part is telling that by using this data, you have to frame a multiple regression equation where x1 is the dependent variable and x2, x3 are independent variable. And by putting some values, because we also predict with the help of this multiple regression equation the other value. The difference is that instead of one independent variable, we are putting 2 independent variables here. So some data is given in order to solve a problem by framing the multiple regression equation. If a student scores 12 in the intelligence test, that is x2, and 4 in x3, that is study hours, what will be his estimated score in x1, that is achievement test? So in the given model problem, we have to do 2 things. Firstly, we have to derive or establish a multiple regression equation, and we have to solve a specific problem with the help of the derived multiple regression equation. So let us come and solve the model problem. The value is given. As we know that when we have to frame a multiple regression equation where x1 is dependent variable and x2, x3 are independent variable, this is like this: x1 is equal to b12.3 x2. पिछले दिन भी हम लोगों ने, पिछले लेक्चर में भी हम लोगों ने इसकी चर्चा की थी और इसको लिखा भी था. फ्रॉम देयर यू कैन पिक b13 और यहाँ x3 is equal to and plus k. So this is the equation in order to find out the multiple regression equation in relation to x1, x2 and x3, where x1 is dependent variable and x2 and x3 is independent variable. So far as this k is concerned, as we know, k is equal to m1 minus b12.3 m2 and again minus b13.2 m3. So this is the equation in order to find the specific multiple regression against the equation against the given data. And in the equation itself there is a value, that is k, and in order to compute the value of k, this is the formula. So you have to remember these things as formula. As here you can see there is b12.3 and b13.2. So how we can solve, rather calculate b123, b12.3, we have a formula in terms of a standard deviation of first divided by a standard deviation of 2 and multiplied by beta 12.3. Here again, these values are known to us, but we don't know the value of beta. So we have to also know the formula with the help of which we could compute b12.3. So what is the value of beta 12.3? That is beta 12.3 is equal to, of course, in terms of relationship R1 minus R12, R12 minus R13 R23, और ये जो राइट साइड में है इसमें से 1 माइनस R23 स्क्वायर. ये भी एक फॉर्मूला की तरह इस्तेमाल करते हैं. उसी तरह से जब हमको बीटा b13.2 का मान निकालना है तो यहाँ होगा सिग्मा 1 डिवाइडेड बाई सिग्मा 3, yes, sigma 3, and then beta 13.2 Again, we have to know the value, how to calculate the value of beta 13.2, which it is simply like this: R13 minus R12, of course R12 or R23, sorry, R23 R23, चूंकि 2 3 इंडिपेंडेंट वैल्यू, ये ध्यान में रखें, 1 माइनस R23 का स्क्वायर। तो इतनी चीजें हमको इस तरह के प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन में याद रखना, और तभी हम इस स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम पे आए। सो दीज आर द फॉर्मूला। नंबर 1, द इक्वेशन, and the value of k, again the value of 1 2 3, and again the value of beta 1 2 3 and beta 1 3 2. So these are the formulas about which we have already discussed in the beginning part of the lecture, or second part of the lecture you can say. Now by using these formulas, though there is only one equation, but in order to find any specific multiple regression equation, we have to solve all these steps. We have to come across through all these stages where we have to find the value of v12.3, again the value of k, again the value of beta 12.3 and 13.2, and like that. So firstly we have to find this value, and gradually we have to move backward. So when you will put all these given values, that is of beta 1 2 3, I shall not solve the problem taking into account all the related aspects. It is up to you to calculate, because there is constraint, and due to these constraints, especially in terms of the size of the board, we shall not be able to solve the entire problem. Let us try, otherwise it will take more time. So R12 is given minus R13, R23, और ये 1 माइनस R23 का होल स्क्वायर। यहाँ यदि हम वैल्यू पुट करें तो आप देख सकते हैं आपके सवाल में दिया हुआ है कि R12 का वैल्यू 0.41 है, माइनस दूसरा जो वैल्यू है 0.56 है, और फिर तीसरा वैल्यू है जो 0.16 डिवाइडेड बाई आपका क्या है 1 माइनस 0.16 का स्क्वायर। इस टोटल को यदि आप इसको गुना करें, इसमें से इसको माइनस करें, 1 में से इसको घटाएं, तो फाइनली आपको जो वैल्यू आएगा वो लगभग आता है 0. क्योंकि ये बुक का प्रॉब्लम है, हम जो प्रॉब्लम करते हैं वो डेसिमल के बाद 2 ही अंक लेते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ कई अंक लिए गए हैं तो मैं उसी रूप में इसको लूँगा 0.3300 डिवाइडेड बाई 0.9744, and the final value is 0.338। मतलब ये कि बीटा 1 2 3 का वैल्यू 0.338 आ रहा है। उसी तरह से जब हम बीटा 1 3 का वैल्यू फॉर्मूला में रख के निकालेंगे, आप कैलकुलेट ऐसे ही कर सकते हैं। यहाँ है कि R13 हो जाएगा, यहाँ R12 हो जाएगा, 2 3 तो कॉमन है, तो उस सारे वैल्यू को आप रखेंगे तो बीटा 1 3.2 का वैल्यू आपको यहाँ अप्रोक्सीमेटली जो आता है तो 0.446 आता है। अब ये दो वैल्यू जब आ गया तो हम लोग निकालेंगे फिर किसका वैल्यू, बीटा 12.3। देखिए यहाँ लिखा हुआ है बीटा 1, तो ये स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन का मान दिया हुआ है, दैट इज यू कैन सी 13.65 एक का है, मतलब पहले का जो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन है, और दूसरे का 3.06। ये वैल्यू पुट कर दिया इन ऑर्डर टू फाइंड B12.3, और फिर बीटा 1 2 3 का वैल्यू तो हम लोग निकाल चुके हैं, दैट इज इक्वल टू 0.338, that is 0.338. By solving you will find the value. By solving you will find the value of B12.3 as 1.507. In the same way, when you will calculate the value of B13.2, you will find its value. You will find its value as 3.014. Now come here. We have find B12.3. M1 is already given. B13.2. So in this problem, if we put all these values, we can find the value of K. That is, M1 is 101.71. You can see बीटा B12.3 का वैल्यू आपने देखा 1.507 इंटू M2 का वैल्यू आप देख सकते हैं आपको 10.06 है। उसी तरह से कर ही देते हैं बीटा B12.3, मतलब इसका वैल्यू कितना दिया हुआ है, इसका वैल्यू आपको दिया हुआ है 1.507 इंटू 10.06 एंड अगेन इसका वैल्यू दिया हुआ है कितना 3.014 ये इसका वैल्यू B13 और M3 का वैल्यू आपको पता है कि दैट इज इक्वल टू हाउ मच, M3 इज इक्वल टू 3.35। छोटा वैल्यू है इसलिए डाउट हो रहा था 3. तो इसको जब आप कंप्यूट करेंगे तो ये टोटल वैल्यू आपका आ जाएगा 76.453 ये वैल्यू। नाउ वी हैव टू पुट दिस वैल्यू बिकॉज ऑल अदर वैल्यूज आर नोन टू अस, 1 2 3 x2 नोन टू अस, x3 नोन टू अस। ये में पुट करेंगे तो हमारा जो फाइनल इक्वेशन होगा वो फाइनल इक्वेशन हमारा जो बनेगा बाय पुटिंग ऑल दीज वैल्यूज, दैट इज x1, दैट इज दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, x1 इज इक्वल टू ये देखिए B12.3 का वैल्यू, B12.3 का वैल्यू हमको 1.057 है और इसका मल्टीप्लिकेशन x2 के साथ हो जाएगा। फिर ये B13 इसका वैल्यू 3.014, x3 यहाँ हो जाएगा एंड प्लस 76.453। सो द फाइनल इक्वेशन by solving you will see that 1 2 3, तो ये आपका फाइनल इक्वेशन जो बनेगा 1.507 ये वैल्यू x1 इन x2 इंटू x2 है एंड प्लस 3.014 x3 and plus 76.453. So ultimately we have find the required multiple regression equation. Since the process is a little bit lengthy, you may find some problem and you may sometimes feel yourself confused, but this is not necessary. You can solve the problem because you know multiplication, addition, division, etc. So the first part, by putting all these values, by calculating the value of firstly beta 1 2 3 or 1 3.2, again b1 2.3, b1 3.2, again k, and finally by putting all those values we have the equation. So you can also find a multiple regression equation in this way in order to find the, rather in order to predict a dependent variable with the help of combined effect of two independent variables. In the second part of the problem, we are having a problem, a specific problem, and of course some value is given. And what are the values? Making out a, sorry, in the second part of the problem, the value of x2 is equal to 4. So here you can put the value of x2 is equal to 4 into 4, x2 is equal to 4, and the value of x3, the value of a student scored 12 in intelligence, नहीं x2 का value 12, sorry, x2 का value यहाँ हम लोग पुट करेंगे 12. So the value of x2 is equal to 12 and the value of x3 is equal to 4 and plus this value of k 76.453. और ये हम पूरा सोल्व नहीं करेंगे, आप इसको इससे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, इसको इससे मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे और सबको जोड़ देंगे. The final value will be as 107. So you can compute. So the final value will be of 107 and this is the value of x1. मतलब यदि x2 इंटेलिजेंस का मान 12 है और दूसरे वेरिएबल x3 का जो स्टडी आवर्स के रेस्पेक्ट में है का मान 4 है, तो इन द गिवन मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन we can predict the value of x1, and in this specific problem the value of x1 is 7. So we can conclude that if the value of x2 is equal to 12 and x3 is equal to 4 in the given problem, in this particular problem the value of x1 will be 107 and we can predict other variables. Sorry, we can predict the dependent variable by putting different values of two independent variables. तो 12 की जगह पर कुछ और, 4 की जगह पर कुछ और इस तरह से जो सब्सिक्वेंट चेंज क्या आ रहा है उससे हम लोग डाटा के नेचर को भी कि क्या हो रहा है, यदि ये ऐसा बदलता है x2 और x3 ऐसा बदलता है तो x1 कैसे बदलता है, ये स्टडी हमारे लिए आसान हो जाती है. एंड दिस इज द मेजर पर्पस ऑफ मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन एंड prediction of a dependent variable with the help of two independent variables. So we have already solved the model problem. One model problem we shall be solving, but we shall not calculate every step, otherwise the lecture will be very large. So we shall compute the problem very fastly. So this is all about this model problem which we discussed in detail. Thank you very much.